everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Airport Simulator 2014. Now, I know what a lot of you people are probably thinking is, oh, Northernlion is about... I had to resist, like, a serious urge to do, like, a Cockney accent there. Like, oh, Northernlion's gonna take a look at a simulator. Oh, that's offensive, and I apologize. It's like, time to take the piss out of it, right? Because who could ever be diehard into something like airports? They have to be a big, dumb nerd, right, Northernlion? No, not right, straw man that I just made up. I know a lot of people play these simulators, Woodcutter Simulator, Construction Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, and they play it and they're like, wow, isn't it crazy that someone would like leave their real job, go home, and then play this as like a second fake job? I think that's kind of cool. Like, I have the utmost respect for that, even though these games are not normally the things that I'm really into. I kind of imagine video games as being on like a slider, and on the left end of the slider you have accessibility, and on the right end you have realism. And obviously, you know, if you think about a game like FIFA's on the far left. It's very accessible. That's not to say there's not a high level of strategy and skill and tactics required, but, you know, I'm not Lionel Messi, but I can jump in, play as Lionel Messi, score a few goals, no big deal. And then on the other end, you have, like, Airport Simulator, or, you know, Log Cutting Simulator, or Euro Truck Simulator, which is like, whoa, this is actually, like, well, Euro Truck Simulator is a little bit more accessible, but this is, like, die-hard, realistic, nuts, niche, right? So, I just wanted to, I know this is taking forever to get started here, but I just want to point out I'm not writing this awful, shitty game off because it's a simulator and I'm lazy. That's not what's happening. I played like an hour and a half of this. I've done very little because that's the way this fucking game works. It's real bad. You know, you want to run an airport, there's all sorts of interesting stuff. We could run the business, and we could, oh no, there's been a disaster, send out the cleanup crew, and you don't do that. This is, I'm going to start a new game here. Oh, if you start a new game, you'll lose any progress in the current game. Why even have a save game function then? Sure, okay. Whatever, we're going to start a new game. You'll see what happens. Oh, no, the game's going to crash, okay. Well, obviously being self-aware, the game detected I was using fraps and trying to record it and provide criticism protected under fair use, and decided to crash rather than be subject to what is very genuine criticism. So there's no need to pause the game, even though this airplane is idling here, because we will not have another plane landing on our runway for maybe 45 real-time minutes, and I wish that was an exaggeration, but it's sincerely not. The way that Airport Simulator 2014 works, it is not a tycoon game, it is not a business management game, it is actually a game where you manage and, you know, basically directly do all of the maintenance stuff at the airport. And I'm hesitating to use, like, derogatory terms like boring maintenance stuff, because this is simulator territory, right? Some people are into this. So we're tasked with doing things like refueling the plane, only we don't really refuel the plane, we just kind of drive the fuel truck over to the plane, or, you know, like taking the baggage off the plane and putting it back on, only we don't really take the baggage on or take it off and put it on, we just kind of drive the baggage cart over to the airplane, and then the off-screen AI goblins do it for us. You might be noticing a trend here. The title of this game is fraudulent. This is not Airport Simulator 2014. What this is driving utility vehicles but not really using them in an airport setting. And that is so shitty. How great would it be to actually manage an airport? That would be really cool. Airports are crazy. Look at this shit. And I'm going to try to zoom in here. I can't, because, okay, let's get used to it. There's this fucking, like, huge aluminum cylinder of engineering prowess. It carried 200 people from across the world, landed at our humble airport. We gotta feed these people, we gotta taxi the plane out, we gotta refuel it, get the bags, pilot the jetway out there so they can walk out. No, that would be awesome, that would be great, you know, we manage the concession prices, and what do we sell in the duty free, and oh no, there's been a disaster, now we've lost some of our government funding. That would be so cool. Instead, I'll show you what we've got here, because I'm rambling, but forgive me, there's gonna be a lot of downtime in this video. So the plane has landed. This process from a plane landing to being ready to take off again, literally about 35 real-time minutes. So we might as well choose a gate. Why don't we have that go over to gate number 1 here? So we'll click on that, and then the pilot, who has been sitting here for like, you know, 11 minutes now, is like, fucking finally, I got gate orders. What's crazy to me is that basically our goal in the game is to hire staff. So, keep in mind this is a simulator game. Why do I admire simulators and the people who play them? Realism. Why do you play a simulator? Realism. Especially for, like, an airport game. This is like a 777 or a 747 just landed here. We have an airport capable. It's got, like, you know, 8 gates and lots of facilities. It can handle the people coming in from a 747, holds like 250 people or something. We have no staff. As of right now, we have 1,000 euros in our bank account, no staff. What this means is that when this behemoth finally, by the way, no way to speed up time, at least in the, please do not tell me if you find a way to speed up time, because the hours, or at least, demi hours of my life that I have spent whittled away watching these giants of mankind's technical prowess slowly, elegantly do the ballet of taxiing to the gate. I can never get that time back, and as such, I don't know if I would ever want to live again with the knowledge that I could have possibly done something more productive with my time. Oh no, we're all gonna die. What does it all mean? What this means is that, you spend... There's one point in the game where it's like, hey, you got 10 minutes to drive the fuel truck to the plane and refuel it. So I did, and I drove the fuel truck to the plane, and it's like, okay, it's gonna take 10 minutes to refuel. Do you want to just, sit here and watch the plane get fueled? And I'm like, yeah, is there anything else I can do? And like, fuck no, asshole. $15. It's concentrated buyer's remorse in a can on the front page of Steam right now. All right, so keep in mind, this is all I can do right now. You might be saying, oh, you got all these tabs here. We got 1,000. Okay, well, we'll talk about this in a second. Believe me, we got plenty of time. We got 1,000 euros. So you might be saying, why don't you buy things? You can't buy things. You don't have enough money. We don't have nearly enough money yet to buy things. It doesn't matter. This is such a fraction of the things that we do that... we need to get staff. We don't even have enough... It's 7:47 gonna land at this airport. We have no staff. Anyway, step one. All right, fuck it. We're not doing deploy tunnel yet. That's the hard part. Let's start with maintenance to gate. So we got 4 things to do here. Here's one. Maintenance to gate. You start with the truck. The driving is real bad, and you have to manually control the camera with the right mouse button, which is a decision that is as baffling as any decision I've ever heard of in the history of mankind. Napoleon's invasion of Russia, people are like, oh, how could he be so stupid? First off, if you're saying that and you're 13, pretty offensive considering, my God, he conquered half the known world. Well, they knew all the world back then. Anyway, this is maddening to me. Anyway, we're going to drive this maintenance truck over here. I apologize for the sirens. That is doubtlessly the psychiatric hospital trying to take me away. So there we go. Step one. Oh, there. Fantastic. We have landed the maintenance van at the designated spot. Why don't we take the luggage truck now? So, what really irks me about this game is that I know that let's take the planet Earth. Let's start with planet Earth, and then take people who are legitimately interested in airports. That's probably 2% of people. I think airports are pretty cool. I spend a decent amount of time in them. It's amazing, these fucking mechanical behemoths land there. The hundreds and thousands of staff and synergistic systems and services necessary to keep all this shit running is nuts. It's crazy. And people coming in from all over the world, connecting flights, that would be so cool to manage. But then, we're narrowing it down even further. How many people are interested in airports because of these really not very fast vehicles that drive on the tarmac and accomplish utilities like getting the baggage out of the plane? You're probably cutting that 2% down to 0.2%. And how many people love those vehicles and really idealize just driving them, not even using the function which makes them a special vehicle? The mission accomplished there. Not even doing the thing that makes them a functional vehicle. We're driving the Bluth staircase right here. But just driving them. This is just shitty car simulator. That's what bothers me, is how lazy it is. And now, again, I can't stress enough. Why not just have a behind the car angle that it just goes with? Why do I have to control the camera with my right mouse button? It's madness. But it's what gets me is that it's almost like this company, and I realize that I'm being vitriolic here, and this is fair criticism. This is not me, again, taking the piss out of the game, making the game just like a piñata for me to smash over and over, and likes, views, and ad revenue comes out. This is me genuinely being this is lazy a little bit. I'm not saying it didn't take hard work to make it, but it does kind of feel like you just made 4 years ago, maybe you made some kind of driving simulator, and then okay, we got this engine, poured it to everything. Airports, fucking logging. This has nothing, it doesn't need to involve airports at all. Basically, you're hooking people in with this airport-style marketing, and then they're just driving a vehicle down the tarmac. And you don't fly the plane, it's not a flight simulator, that's fine. But, I'd like something to do with airports beyond just parking vehicles tangentially related to the miracle of flying at the base of the machines that probably constitute the entire fuel for the novelty. Okay, now here's a question. that little, like, arrow there, the Mockingjay, is where I'm supposed to pilot my staircase to. And I don't think it really matters, honestly, which is, again, makes the whole realism thing funny, but I don't think it matters whether I back... In fact, let's try it that way. I'm going to try to back into the spot. So we'll have the top of the staircase way too far away. They'll have to do, like, a running jump and then walk down under the plane, and we'll see if the game just accepts this. Oh, we're getting close. Oh, can I... Nope, I have... crashed into the that is the you know, the airfoil. It's still generating lift right now, so that's the air current underneath it. That's a really nice looking plane too. It's like bulbous end right there in the middle. Probably really good for, you know, torsion and metal strain and stuff like that. Ah, there we go. Okay, so you know, I'm doing my best to keep up the good stuff here. Let's do deploy tunnel, because the tunnel is by far the hardest part, in my opinion. And also the most hilarious. So, you know, I've never driven one of these tunnels in real life, but it's only got one of these wheels and it rotates on a 360-degree axis. Actually, this seems to be like it might be the easier one. Now, I can't stress enough. We've actually, by the way, every time we complete one of these tasks, we are generating money. That's really good news. This is the most fun that can be had in Airport Simulator 2014. I mean that sincerely. Not out of, let's see where our tires are facing here. Not out of any ill will. I mean that genuinely and sincerely as well. When you're actually doing stuff, the stuff is mundane, and the stuff you're doing is not very fun. That's basically as fun as it gets. There are profound and incredibly long periods of just doing nothing, and you don't have a choice. Let's get there we go. So we got the gate, the bus to the gate, external cleaning to gate. Sure, let's drive the bus to the gate. This is where the game shines right here, is when it's like, drive vehicle A to point X, drive vehicle B to point, and it's not even like, is there any doubt that we're gonna make it? This thing goes like 6.9 miles per fucking hour. Like, if I can't make it there without crashing or, you know, flipping this shit over, then we've got an issue, right? There's no tension involved at all. Now, okay, so I've talked a lot about how, you know, just don't buy this game is. But the principal problem, beyond the fact that this stuff is just boring, that's fine. I find a lot of simulators boring, and that's totally a-okay. Oh my god, we still got so much shit to do here. I find a lot of simulators boring, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. Where things change a little bit, and where this becomes kind of like an objective atrocity, is what happens once we actually... Let me just put it this way. Every one of these tasks that we do is taking us, you know, what, 30 to 90 seconds. You can look here, and, you know, we've got a couple more tasks to do, repairs to gate, maintenance to garage, but pretty soon we're just going to have tasks that are in progress. Luggage that's being unloaded, and the bus that's unloading as we speak. Once we get into that, we just kind of have to sit and twiddle our thumbs, jerk one out, and then wait the remaining 8 minutes until all of the AI are finished doing the things that would probably generate any interest in an airport simulator in the first place. So you do eventually reach a point, and you believe me, the game tries to keep things constantly on the go by putting the restrictor plate on the vehicle so they can't get out of first gear. But eventually there's points where you're just like staring at the fucking screen, and the time, oh, I almost feel like it runs at like halftime. So you might, you know, you play The Sims or something, every second is a minute, or, you know, you can even crank it up faster than that. In this, it feels like every hour is like a minute. It's crazy. I can't fathom the existence, the decisions that are involved in this. And the worst part is, I don't mean to insult the developers, because that's a shitty thing to do. I just can't put myself in the shoes of anybody who would enjoy this. And even when I play really, really awful games, I can think of like people that would be like, yeah, this is my bag. This is not the case here. This is the worst. This is maybe one of the worst games I've ever played. And it's a shitty thing to say, but you're just driving the truck. I mean, in Euro Truck Simulator, you're driving a truck, but it's, you know, let's put it this way. I apologize for the stammer there. This isn't the King's Speech Simulator 2014, although I'm sure that's coming. You'll drive the king to and from his speech therapy sessions. Spoilers, by the way. No, I'm not like, I don't have an H shifter next to me. I don't have the fucking track IR on. I'm using WASD. I'm driving a truck with WASD. This is Airport Simulator. Driving trucks and other various vehicles with exactly the keys that you would use in something like Ride 'em Low. Sure, is that good enough? All right, we'll take it. All right, so pretty soon you are going to experience something. Oh, so I got to get the maintenance truck out of here now. Can I just back it out under the gate? This is probably like really not safe, but that's fine. So we'll take the truck over here. Sorry, the van. I wouldn't want to incur the wrath of the commenters for that one. And what I really can't stress enough here is that this is the exciting part of this game. We're very, very close. I would say about 15 to 20 seconds away from the not exciting part of the game. And that is probably where we'll languish for a little while to let that really sink in before the video ends. But that was the fireworks, man. That was the fun part. Now, as you can see, we have 7.5 minutes of waiting before our. And here's the thing: 7.5 minutes of waiting, then 4 for the next one, and then 1, and then 9. So we won't be willing or ready to do anything for like the next 21 minutes. That is crazy. And also, as these finish, they will pop up another task. The task for almost all of this stuff is seriously going to be drive the luggage truck back to where you got it, which is going to be another 30 seconds. This is the crazy part to me. It's so slow. And what do I do? Like, it's the game. I almost expected to pop up and be like, why don't you, buy Woodcutter Simulator, play it on the other screen while you wait for this shit to happen. Like, I almost expect like an IAP, like an in-app purchase or a micro transaction to come up and be like, for 50 cents, you can buy like a 30% faster rate of arrivals at your airport. Because, I'm looking at the fucking skies. I don't see anybody coming. We got this huge airport. Nobody's using it. Spoilers, I have gotten to the point where I've had a second plane land at Würzburg Airport, I believe it's called. Takes like half an hour. Just like watching this plane for 20, 25 minutes, and then eventually another one comes up, and it lands, and it landed on like the middle runway here. Oh, and it coasted, and it taxied so slowly. And what was great is that it lands, and then immediately as it lands, you get a task that's like, drive baggage to gate. So you give the airplane a gate to arrive at, like G2 here. And then I was like, well, I don't know where to put the baggage cart until the plane's there. That seems irresponsible. But the baggage thing starts ticking down like right away, and the plane's not even there. So, when the time runs out, you start losing money, like €1 per second, which seems crazy to me. But in any case, so like the plane wasn't even at the gate, and I was being like financially penalized for not having the baggage cart at the gate. It's like, what? Really? Like, a lot of this game is just like, it would be doing the whole thing a disservice to be like, well, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm not really into airports, and it's a simulator, so if you're like really hardcore into airports, there might be like a small niche audience out there. There is a niche audience out there for this game. I guarantee it. I guarantee 1 to 3 people on the surface of planet Earth have some weird, and I don't mean weird in a negative way, some weird obsession with just the mundane driving of airport-related vehicles. Not the function of the vehicles, certainly not, but merely the locomotion from point A to point B as safely as possible. Nothing wrong with that. For those of you watching this, which, statistically probably none of you are, but, tell your friends if you know them, sure, $15, Airport Simulator 2014. You keep in mind, it would also be great if you had a fetish for staring, like just at, it was a fairly nice, probably German, Bavarian landscape, all things considered. It's a beautiful day out there today. No delays, no cancellations, which is why it's even more remarkable that skies around this fairly large airport are relatively clear. But, yeah. Everybody else, stay far away. This has zero value from a gameplay standpoint for anyone. For 99.999% of the population. Zero genuine value. And also zero ironic value. A lot of simulators have some ironic value even if you're not into it, and that's totally cool. You can make fun of it. Who would drive a train? Ooh, this is so boring. Actually, I kind of find myself having a little bit of fun. Anyway, this doesn't have that. This has a lot of staring. Your goal in this game is to hire staff. Why would you start with an airport with 0 staff? That makes no fucking sense. You hire staff. So now what I have, 5,000 euros. So I can, for gate 1, I can now hire a maintenance van. Boom. You know what that means now? Now I don't have to drive the fucking maintenance van. I'm giving myself less to do. Why would I want that? Right now I'm doing nothing. It's ridiculous. The man who is doing nothing does not need less to do. Give me more to do and more meaningful stuff to do, because this is just superficial simulator, basically. That's going to do it for this episode. There will be a link to pick up the game on Steam in the video description, out of respect for the developers, because fuck it, man. This game is better than any game that I could make. I would strongly encourage you to think twice before picking it up. It is $15. I think it is really not good, and I think stuff like this, I normally don't like to, you know, project what might be my beliefs onto the people that made the game, but it feels like it's, to some extent, a lazy simulator that is capitalizing on the trend of better games than this, like Euro Truck Simulator 2, making the simulator genre probably leaps and bounds more popular than it used to be, and it's hoping to capture a little bit of that market share without really providing much value in return. And that is my fair and honest criticism, and I hate it. I hate this game. I really do. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more first impressions like this in the future. As always, thanks for watching, and of course, I'll see you next time.